Should forward-facing sonar be allowed in kayak tournaments? That's the topic of discussion today. I have my old transducer pole for my live scope system. If you make it all the way to the end, I'll be giving this sucker away. It's a Fish Specialties pole on a bunch of Yak Attack parts on a lock and load system there. I was going to sell it, but I figured since we're doing so great on the YouTube channel, I will give this away. So if you make it all the way to the end, I'll tell you how to get it. You can have it. It's all yours. So then, that being said, let's move on here. Should it be allowed in kayak tournaments? Well, to make a long story short, without getting into the details, and if you haven't used it before, but you just hate it, but you don't really know any better, you don't just turn it on and fish jump right into your lap. That's not how it works. You still have to be able to find fish. And the beauty of kayak fishing, just in general, is it gives you a lot of room to do whatever the hell you want to do. If you want to go rock and roll just a paddle, a boat, and 2 rods, 1 rod, and get after it, you can do that. If you want to rig out something like what I got going on back here, which is kind of middle of the road, I can fish out deep. I do have live scope. I don't do it all the time. But you can get out there deep on structure and bait schools and do what you want to do. And pull that trolling motor up. You can flip the rudder up. You can kick your live scope out of the water. That's why I switched from that pole to what I have now, so I can just flip it up out of the water. And I can run over mats and paddle around okay. But either way, you could have a XTR 130 decked out to the hills, and you'd be great offshore. But can you get back in those canals and everything else and paddle that thing through some bullshit? I doubt it. So it is set up 100% on how you want to fish. I've been out on tournaments and had my ass handed to me by guys, just like I said, with just a paddle, a kayak, and 2 rods. There's a guy specifically, I don't know if he wants me to shout him out or not, but he is an absolute hammer. I saw him at a Minyak event. Or no, not a Minyak event, an MNKFA event. Maybe last year or the year before. Just had a brief conversation as we were walking up to the award ceremony, and he did great. He outfished me, and just that. You don't need a lot to get out there and be successful. And just to get down to the bottom of things, our platform restricts us so much that I don't think it really makes a difference between a tournament win and not. I just don't. We're not on boats. We can't drop a motor and do 90 across the lake. Most tournaments are won before we even hit the water, looking at topographic maps. Topographic, I don't remember how you say that. We're looking at lake maps, figuring out where you're going to launch, because we're not very fast. We are on a motor restriction. If you do have a motor, you're going anywhere between 4 to 7 miles an hour. You can't cover a ton of water really, really fast. You have to have a good game plan before you even get out there. So it's such a restriction on what we can and can't do that I don't think one piece of equipment or another is going to make the difference, all the difference in the world. I think that you need to set up your kayak for how you like to fish, how you fish successfully, where your confidence, play your strengths, stuff like that. The only reason I have all this on there is I'm a tinkerer by nature. I don't know if you can see behind me. There's a 78 Regal back there. There's an LS tore down. My shop is a mess. So I love messing with new technology. I love messing with new baits. My style is more junk fishing. Really. If I'm hammering them, if I'm fun fishing, not tournament fishing, if I'm hammering them offshore, I'll be like, okay, this works. It's 90 degrees out. They're biting deep. I wonder if I kick all this crap up and head into a mat somewhere and start punching, if I'm going to rip them out over there. So I'll move. You'll see me move all over the place. An 8-hour day, I'll be shallow. I'll be deep. I'll be on structure. I'll flip laydowns, shake a minnow, grab out a heavy rod and start bombing a frog. I like junk fishing. So our platform, I went off on a tangent there. That made very, very little sense. Maybe it made sense. You let me know if that made sense. So I think our platform restricts us enough to where we're not efficient, right? We're not doing 90 across the lake. We're not dropping a trolling motor and then getting on fish. And we can't hit 15 spots on opposite ends of the lake. You need to come up with a good game plan and a kind of a trail you can follow that has a bunch of good little spots in it that potentially have big fish. But you're not running across the lake at 4.5 miles an hour. It's just not going to happen. 15 miles, I might as well call half the tournament over. It's not efficient. So I think our platform restricts us enough. I don't think that any of that really makes that big of a difference. In fact, the guy at the tournament that scares me the most is a guy, like I said, with a paddle, 2 rods, and just all the confidence in the world. He's probably got that lake dialed in. He's going to head up shallow. He's going to get in places where I can't get in, where not half the field can't get into, and he's going to do really well. So I think that our level of, and the way our tournaments are played out, I don't think it really makes a difference. It just doesn't. I can't say that enough. There's hammers out there that'll fish shallow all day long, especially in a best of 5 fish tournament. You only need to catch 5 big fish. Now, if we were fishing like MLF style fishing, yes, it would make a difference. If I could just sit and pick off 1 and 2 pounders all day long, it would make a difference. But we're only fishing for the best 5 fish. You fish for 8 hours, all you need is 5 good ones to get in the boat. And that comes out to just good preparation before you get out to your body of water, wherever you're at. Good knowledge of, your spawn, your pre-spawn, your spawn, your post-spawn, your summertime fishing, your cold water fishing. You still need to know all that. You don't kick the live scope on and they just hop into your lap. You still need to be on fish. If you're in an area and panning around and there's no fish, they don't just magically show up because you kicked your live scope on. It doesn't really work like that. Does it make you more efficient offshore? Yeah, for surely does. When you can visibly see schools and stuff like that. But like I said, if there's no fish on those schools or if there's no fish on those structures, you're still wasting time, and the kayak isn't efficient enough for me to be like, well, this ain't working. Let's try this. No, I gotta... I'm just kind of toting along super slow. Yeah, so that being said, if you're thinking about fishing a tournament, do it. The one this weekend, oh man, I have been at work. I don't do this full time. You could probably tell that just by watching this video that I don't do this full time. So I've been at work 10, 12 hours a day. I didn't have time to get out and pre-fish it. I didn't have time to really do a ton of research. I didn't have time to do nothing. I don't know what they're biting on right now, but I do know that I'm going to fish Saturday regardless. So I might as well spend the money on the entry fee, throw my hat in the ring. If I do well, I do well. If I don't, I'm sure I'll meet a couple cool dudes, hang out for a bit. No big deal. So, back to this. That's how I feel. How do you feel? Let me know in the comments. And if you hit the like button, subscribe button, and you let me know in the comments, you'll throw your hat in the ring also to win this transducer mount. This works with pretty much all the major what are they? Electronics companies, your Lowrance, Humminbird, Garmin. This will work with all of them. Has a lock and load mount that'll go right on your track mount. You might have to modify it a little bit to fit your needs, but it could be yours. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's free, baby. It's free. And let me know how you think and how you feel, right? Not how you think, how you feel in the comments. Good, bad, ugly, I don't care. I can take the abuse. That being said, we'll see you out on the water. I'll be in the, well, hold on now. Let me go backwards again. I will be at the Miniac tournament out on the Jefferson chain in Minnesota here. If you're not signed up, I'm pretty sure sign up ends Friday at 6 p.m. So if you're not signed up, you can definitely get signed up. If you see me out there, if you're already signed up, if you see me out there, say hi. I'll shoot the shit for a little bit. I got nothing but time. I got all day Saturday. So, yeah, stop by. If you see me, give me a wave. Give me the finger. However you feel. Rock and roll. And then, yeah, that's about it. So, we'll see. If I don't see you out on the water, hit that like, subscribe button. Win this baby. Very solid unit. And we'll see you later.